Hi everyone. I know it's been a while since I posted, uh, but life happens. I've been busy with school and work, and uh, who knew business law would be so hard? Just kidding. I just need to pass this class, or like my friend Russell tells me, he actually he's like, remember, if you get a C, you complete. C earns degrees. Oh my God, I shouldn't have that mentality. But at this point, no, I'm kidding. Um, so, you know, I did some sewing. I bought a pattern. I wanted to make my sister a scrub top for work. She works in a pediatric clinic here in Alaska, and I followed the pattern, and not all patterns are the same. So here's my issue. Sorry, I didn't mean to get so close to the camera. Um, I have to have her try it on. Then I'm going to have to make modifications to the pattern. Um, is this supposed to be a tank top, scrub top? Who knows? Literally, that's so. My plan is, I already have it together and sewn together. So I'll, when I have the energy, I will sew it together, and then I'm thinking I will add a piece of material to and like a wide cuff onto the material. I still did some beading. I'm a tactile person. I or a fidget person. So, if I'm in a meeting, I will, if there's something on the table, I will play with it. So I did this. It's a float. It's a float. My brain just went blank. Just been one of those crazy days. But it's got sea glass beads on it, as you can see. And if you rub on it, I kind of like the feeling because I like touching things with my hands, and I like how it feels against my hands. I'm thinking I have one of those, they look like a rolling pin. It's a glass float, and I want to bead one of those so it'll be smaller. And I could put it at my desk so that way when I need to fidget or calm myself down, because I do have panic attacks or anxiety, I can be able to pick it up, and it can help ground me just by that sensation of rubbing something across my hands, because my brain, it works that way. So I sound like I'm rambling. I probably am. So that's me. I'm one of those people that'll have like 50 different ideas that I'm trying to get across. I love my manager, and I'm one of those that when I want to say something, I just say it and get it out. And she's like, okay, wait, back up. Good morning. How are you? And I'm always like, oh yeah, good morning. And then I'll compliment her. She has the most beautiful cuss bucks that she wears. And someday I will make myself some of them like she has of the material. She wore a very beautiful one that was white, and it had yellow and green, and it was beautiful material that it's made from. And I think, okay, I want to make myself one of those. Don't know how to look on me, but I want to make myself one. I'll still wear it. Whatever I make myself, I still wear. And I wear it proudly. But I'll sit there, and I guess I'll bring her one of these in her office when we have our special meeting. I'll just be rubbing in front of her. Might freak her out, but it'll calm me down. So, but enough of my rambling. I hope your week went well. So I've had a challenging week, and today was a really challenging day. It had its moments. We all go through that, and I thought I could sit and I could pout, and that's what I did when I got home. That's just a process I worked through. But then I was like, you know what? Everybody needs to smile, no matter how bad your day is. If you can make someone smile, make someone laugh, um, that brings me some joy, and it'll brighten my day. So I'm going to tell you a story, and it's my dad's story. I love listening to my dad. He tells the greatest stories. He grew up in a village in rural Alaska, and since a very young age, he's been hunting. He's trapping, fishing, packing water, helping with wood. My grandma and grandpa had 10 children, and all the older boys, especially my dad, my grandpa always included them in everything he did. You can learn at a young age, and that was his mentality. There's no free just hanging out if you're 5 years old. You're gonna work. I learned that at fish camp. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, playing with rocks." and so I got put to work because nothing's free in this world. I had to earn my keep. So here I am, cutting fish, gutting it for my grandpa at 5 years old. I have the knives that he made me, and we call them mahandani, but if you Google it, they're called ulu, in the English world, ULU, but we say mahandani. That's so much easier for me to say. It's actually harder for me to pronounce ulu than it is mahandani. But he made me one, and that fit in the size of my little tiny 5-6-year-old hand, and I would help gut fish. And so, so my dad's learned from a young age how to work. And so he has many, many stories. And I love listening to my dad when he would tell stories. And he still tells these stories. I've heard them all probably millions of times. Sorry, I have a runny nose. I've all heard them millions of times. And I still listen to them like I've never heard them before, because I enjoy how he tells a story. And I'm going to tell you a short story today, and it's my dad. And I believe it was in the early 2000s when he flew home to Caltech, and it was fall time, obviously, is when you go moose hunting. And him and forgive the coughing, that's my husband in the background. So, so my dad and my uncle Johnny, he told me that they were going down to hunting at Eagle Island, and they got to fish camp, which is, I believe it's 25 miles below Caltech on the Yukon River. So Caltech, Alaska is where I'm from, and our fish camp is 25 miles below Caltech on the Yukon River. So they got to fish camp, and by the time they got there, it wasn't early enough to just start hunting. So, but they started a fire, they got everything ready, they ate, and they decided, okay, well, while it's still light out, let's go down towards Eagle Island and check out the slough, so we'll know when we want to go hunting, where we want to check it out first. And so they were on the river, and they were going down the boat. And my Uncle Johnny was driving. My dad, was in the passenger area of the boat. I don't know what they call it. I can see in my mind where my dad's sitting and my uncle is driving. And they come up on they turned into one of the sloughs, and my dad, they cut off the engine and start drifting into the bank, to the sandbank. And my dad said, literally as they were coming up, because their engine was cut and they were just using the energy from the boat to get onto the bank, and they were going to tie it and just kind of look around. Well, they heard rustling and rustling, and and so both him and my uncle stood up, and and right come over the bank. Huge, huge bull moose, just his antlers hitting that brush. And my dad takes his rifle and boom, just shoots it, hits it. It starts falling down, and it goes right to the edge of the boat, right on the bank. I mean, in all your years of hunting, what a blessing that is, because like my dad said, that'll never ever happen again. That the moose just just dies in front of your boat. Well, one thing with my dad, we were all raised in church. And my dad is a God-fearing Christian man who believes in prayer and giving thanks, and believes in the Bible. And that's the way I was raised. And so my dad, being a very thankful, God-fearing man, kneels down, and moose isn't going to go anywhere. So he starts praying. And mind you, my dad's I think it was in his late 40s, early 50s, and starts praying, and he's crying. He's so thankful. And he's just giving thanks to God and to Jesus for blessing our family with a moose. And then you have my uncle, my Uncle Johnny. I love him to death. And he's, he was raised the same way as my dad in church, but he was more of your, special occasion churchgoer. And so my dad says my uncle immediately jumps forward, puts his rifle down, obviously, and grabs my dad. And my dad and my uncle are very strong men, because they've been, hunting and fishing and trapping in all their lives. So they have muscle. So my Uncle Johnny flips him over and is trying to rip off his, life vest and trying to get to him. And he's like, "Don't die on me, bro. Don't die on me, bro. No way." And he's trying to, get to his chest and start compressions. And my dad looks at him and, that moment lost his Christianity and starts swearing at him and pushes him back. And he's like, "What's wrong with you?" And then my uncle's like, "You're having a heart attack. You're having a heart attack." And my dad's like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" He goes, "Have you never seen anybody pray before?" And good laughing story. you gotta love your uncles and your dad when they tell you hunting and fishing stories, because it always makes you laugh. And so my dad said, after he got my uncle calmed down, that he wasn't having a heart attack. He was just praying and so grateful that he was tearing up and crying for being blessed with a moose for the family. They got the moose together. But hopefully that story cheered you up. Anytime I think of my dad's stories that he tells me and some of the adventures he's been with my uncles, that really brightens my day up. Hopefully you have someone in your family or your close family circle, when you're having a struggle there, that can pull you back to reality and just make your day a lot brighter. So hopefully my dad's story cheered you up. Hopefully I did it justice. And I hope you have a beautiful and blessed day. And I will talk to you later. Have a beautiful day. Bye.